All right, welcome back. This is the Wealth Blueprint with Jackson. And today, what we're going to be talking about is why the price of silver has been absolutely skyrocketing for the past couple months, and especially last month, okay? So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and break this down for you guys. 3 main reasons why this is happening. Number 1, the macro context. 2025 was a pretty uncertain year for the global economy, and we cannot mention this without mentioning what Trump has been doing, especially with the Federal Reserve. And this is key to silver and gold, so stick with me here. So what Trump is trying to do is he's trying to take over the Fed. Why does he want to take over the Fed? Growth by any means necessary, okay? What is he going to do once he takes over the Fed? Whoever is in power, whoever replaces Jerome Powell, is going to cut rates. Cut interest rates. Cutting interest rates does quite a few things. The main one being it increases inflation in the US dollar, okay? Inflation in the US dollar is not good for many reasons. The main one being the dollar weakens relative to other currencies like the yen, the euro, etc. Okay? What a weakened dollar means, it means a couple of things. First of all, US investments, like bonds or something similar, are offering less returns through their rates, right? So I'm not sure exactly what it is right now. I'm assuming it's around 4%, maybe a little bit more. However, other countries probably have higher rates than this. So other countries are going to go ahead and invest their money in other places, not the US, okay? So that's the first thing that's gonna happen. Second of all, what we've also been seeing is that assets like gold and silver that are denominated in the US dollar, their price has been skyrocketing. Why does that happen? Again, it's because the dollar is weakening. Other currencies have more purchasing power on these assets. Obviously, they're going to buy more. It's exactly what's happening with quite a bit of gold here, because the demand for gold is mostly institutional through governments and large companies, things like that, right? So they see this opportunity, they want to buy as much as they possibly can. So this is the first reason this is happening. Also, kind of a side note here, many US consumers and businesses, they're seeing this rocky start to 2026. 2025 was pretty rough for the economy, a lot of uncertainty. What are they going to do? They're going to want to invest into things like this because it seems a lot safer than a dollar that is simply losing its value over and over and over again, year after year, okay? So they're going to want to invest in things like this instead of something where they're losing purchasing power, okay? Two goes along with what I was talking about with gold, okay? So this is market mechanics. Okay. So obviously, like I mentioned, countries and big institutions, as well as retail investors, have been buying quite a bit of gold. The price has gone crazy in the past couple of years, okay? Silver has lagged a little bit behind that, right? We hadn't really seen the run that there was on gold, on silver, until maybe like 4 or 5 months ago, okay? What this means is, throughout history, the ratio of gold that you could buy with silver was about 60 ounces of silver per 1 ounce of gold, okay? It's historically about what it is. Now, this has transformed to 80 to 100 ounces of silver per 1 ounce of gold. What does this mean? you can buy gold, 1 ounce of gold, with more silver. And that signifies that silver is undervalued compared to the ratio it was at before. Now, thinking about this rationally, as soon as retail investors, especially retail investors, see this, they see an investment opportunity, because obviously this ratio is going to go back to 60-1 or around there eventually. So they're going to buy as much silver as they can. What does this do? Compresses the ratio. Price also goes up because of this. It's also important to mention that the market for silver is smaller. So price moves that you're going to see in silver are going to be much more exaggerated than you would see in gold, because it is mostly retail traders who are doing this. And the third main reason this is happening, and might be the most important, we'll have to see what happens, but this is the industrial demand, right? I'm sure everyone's heard about these huge AI data centers. Well, those need silver to function. What else needs silver to function? Well, the power grids that are powering these also need silver. What else are really popular right now? EVs. Those need silver. And finally, this might not be as a big of a factor because of the Trump administration, but green energy, specifically solar, needs silver paste to function. Now, what is all of this doing? Boom. All of this is driving up the demand for silver quite a bit. It just so happens also that the supply of silver is staying stagnant, if not going down, okay? So the supply is staying stagnant because 70 to 75%, might be even higher than that number, of silver is mined with other materials, okay? So what other materials? Gold, copper, things like that, right? If 70 to 75% of silver is mined with other materials, they're not just going to open solely silver mines, right? That's just not worth it for these mining companies, because there's a lot of regulatory hoops they have to go through. It's very costly, and the biggest thing is it takes time, okay? They're just not sure that the demand is going to keep up if they open up a whole mine, and it's years down the line, okay? So the supply is staying stagnant. Demand is going up. Simple economics, this is also going to push the price up. So it's kind of like a perfect storm of all of these things happening right now. And this is exactly why the price of silver is up so much this year, right? It's kind of a perfect storm. And obviously there's more factors than I mentioned here, but these are what I believe to be the main three.